All right, today's video lecture is going to be Module 3.6a, Part 3, and we are going to talk about something called the Ecological Systems Theory. And this is a scientific theory that explains our human development, and it looks at how our development is influenced by a variety of different environmental systems. There's kind of a multifaceted level of influence that people and environments and events and norms and rules and laws all work together to influence the development of who we are today. So we are going to head right into these 5 different systems. So I think this visual is a really nice visual of kind of the effects of these different systems. So you see that there's the child here is impacted by their microsystem, their mesosystem, exosystem, macrosystem, and chronosystem. And so we're going to delve into what are each of these systems and how do they impact us. So the very first one is called our microsystem, and this is that first one closest to us. I think it's really helpful if you understand what the stem of the word microsystem means. So the stem of microsystem is micro, and micro means small. So I think it helps to kind of know what those stems are in order to help you remember what each of these different levels or stages or parts of our ecological system is. So meaning small, this microsystem represents kind of that immediate environment that you interact with. It's yours. It's your little small, I kind of might call it like your nest, your family, your friends, your school, the kind of world, the small world that directly surrounds you that you live in. So this is people you interact with daily in your life. These are the places, the relationships, the routines that influence you most. Your home, your school, your friends, your family, your activities, all of those things that are in your little small world. That is your microsystem. So we think about who are the people that are closest to us, who are the things that things or people or interactions we have daily. That is all the things in our microsystem that impact us. The second system is called Mesosystem. And if we look at, again, the stem of that word is meso, meaning middle. And I think about this system as kind of the middleman. You are the middleman between all the different people in your microsystem. So you are the middleman between people in your world's interactions with each other. So, for example, your school and your parents are both a part of your microsystem. However, the mesosystem is how do those two things in your microsystem interact with one another, and how does that impact you? So how much your parents interact with, say, your teachers in school, the interaction that they have impacts you. That's a part of your mesosystem. And so I think about like you being the middleman. You're the middleman between your teacher and your parents. Or let's say you have a significant other. So you are the middleman between your parents and your boyfriend or girlfriend, and how your parents and boyfriend or girlfriend, what their relationship looks like, impacts you. You're the middleman between your parents and your teachers. How well your parents and teachers get along or see eye to eye is going to impact you, right? And so how well your friend group meshes with your family, right? That interaction, positive or negative, impacts your development in who you are. So meso meaning middle, you are the middleman between all of these people that are in your little small world or your microsystem. The next system is our exosystem. And exo means outside. So this refers to kind of the indirect environments that affect you. So your parents' workplace, right? Their jobs, in a way, impact you, right? Because let's say your mom or your dad has a bad day at work, or let's say they lose their job, right? That interaction that they have is going to impact you, right? Because maybe your parent is going to come home upset. Maybe your parent is going to take a huge loss financially. That's going to impact your world. So it's this exo meaning outside. This is like outside interactions that people have that infiltrate and impact you. So this is a system that you don't interact with. So you don't interact with your parent's boss, but the interaction between your parent and their boss certainly impacts you. So it might be also, let's say, an illness, right? An illness that, let's say, your grandparent who you're really close to has. You are not a part of the interaction between the grandparent and their healthcare provider, but that environmental interaction that they have impacts you, right? Their health impacts you. Even though you have nothing to do with their interactions between them and their doctor, it still boils down and it impacts you and hurts you. That's why we talk about exo meaning outside. These are things outside of your control that are in the environment that still impact you indirectly. The next one is our macrosystem. And macro, that stem of that word means large. So macrosystem includes kind of the larger, broader cultural, societal, historical influences, values, cultures, norms, expectations, customs, rules. So these can be the values and norms of your family. This can be the values and norms of your school. This can be the expectations of females in our culture. This could be the, the big picture values that our country has. Does our country value education? Does our country value women? Does our country value equal rights for everybody? What are the larger country values? What are the values in maybe our religious group? What are the norms in our family? What are the values that my religion has? How do those impact me? So macro, when we're meaning large, we're looking at the big values and norms of the groups that we are a part of. And finally, the last system is called our Chronosystem. And if we pull the word chrono out, that means time, right? Like think about the word like chronological, looking at time. So this Chronosystem refers to this kind of dimension of time and how events over time impact you differently. So for example, the age that you experience something, right, is going to impact you differently. So if your parents get divorced when you are 6 months old versus 6 years old versus 16 versus 60, that event is going to impact you differently based on what your age is. So this Chronosystem helps us understand that like that same event can have different impacts depending on when it happens in a person's life. So it's not just the events that impact us. We cannot be that generic, but rather your age, your maturity, your ability to handle it influences your development. So something that's probably universal is the pandemic, right? How old were you when the pandemic happened, right? The pandemic impacted different people at different ages in different ways. So Chronosystem means chronologically over time. If you look at the timeline so far of your life and major events that happen, how did those major events impact you at that age you were? So switching schools when you are in kindergarten not kindergarten because you wouldn't switch schools then, switching schools when you're in third grade versus switching schools when you're a junior in high school, right? Same event, but the time period in which it happens in your life has a much different influence on you. Your age, your maturity, your ability to handle it, all of those things impact how you interpret and handle that situation. So Chronosystem kind of looks at the timeline of your life and where do different events take place and how do they impact you because of what your age is. That is it for this module lecture today. I hope you have a wonderful day.